Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the podcast. Today, before I get into today, I want to apologize first because I told you that we would have a guest host on today, Jason Urusi, and life happens and he needed to reschedule, so we are not going to be talking to Jason today, but we are taking the conversation we had a couple weeks back around energy vampires a step deeper. So on that episode, we talked about toxic people or environments that can leave us feeling drained. But today I want to flip the mirror a bit, because sometimes the biggest culprits stealing our joy, our peace, and even our health aren't out in the world. They're right here in our own minds. Now, this isn't about blaming yourself. This is about becoming aware of how powerful our thought life really is, both spiritually and physically, and learning how to steward it in a way that restores our energy instead of draining it. The reality is, the conversations we have with ourselves inside our heads often carry more weight than the conversations we have with other people. And if those inner conversations are full of fear, self-doubt, criticism, or replaying all of the what-ifs, they can quietly chip away at our joy and our stamina, even on days when nothing bad actually happens. Are you a busy woman in leadership who feels pulled in 1,000 directions? Do you wrestle with perfectionism, people-pleasing, or never feeling like you're enough no matter how successful you are on paper? Are you longing for more time, more peace, and more energy to live and lead the way God intended? Sister, you are right where you need to be. Hi, I'm Tanya, a wife, mom, healthcare leader, Christian life coach, and functional health practitioner. I spent decades hustling for my worth through achievement and approval, only to end up burned out and exhausted. But God showed me a better way, a grace-fueled way, and now I help women just like you break free from people-pleasing and overwhelm, lead well, live well, and be well. Here, we blend spirit-driven success with practical leadership, wellness, and mindset strategies so that you can multiply your time and impact without sacrificing your health or your family. If you're ready to lead well, live healthier, and finally find the peace and purpose God has waiting for you, you are in the right place. So roll up your sleeves, sister friends. It's time to reclaim your time, restore your joy, and lead from grace. Let me paint a little picture. Imagine you're lying in bed at night and suddenly you remember that tough meeting that's coming up tomorrow. Before you know it, your heart rate is up, your stomach is in knots, and you feel like you're already in the meeting, even though you're actually safe under your covers in your own bed. That's because your body doesn't know the difference between something happening in real time and you thinking about it. Your brain sounds the alarm, danger, and your body responds with the full stress response. Cortisol is released, blood is shunted to your large muscles so you can fight or flee, and non-essential systems like digestion, reproduction, and immunity take a back seat. Your body is literally preparing for survival even while you're lying under your sheets. Now, this made perfect sense when humans had to run from wild animals, but today we're not running from lions or tigers. We're running from emails, deadlines, conflict, and worries that live mostly in our head. Yet the body responds the same way. Here's another example many of you will relate to. Maybe you're driving home from work, replaying a conversation with a colleague or a team member where you felt dismissed or misunderstood or disrespected. Even though it's already over, your jaw tightens, your shoulders hunch, and you're gripping the steering wheel like you're still in the room fighting for your voice to be heard. That's how powerful thought-fueled stress can be. And here's the kicker. When the stress response is triggered over and over, it creates a chronic state of depletion. It robs you of sleep. It steals your focus. it slows down healing, and it makes you feel like you're on the hamster wheel of exhaustion. This is where functional health gives us such insight. Chronic stress isn't just a mindset issue, it is a full body issue. When cortisol is constantly elevated because of chronic stress, your digestion slows down. Hello, bloating, heartburn, constipation, and gut imbalances because your body thinks now's not the time to process lunch, it's time to survive. Reproductive hormones get suppressed. This might show up like irregular cycles, PMS, fertility challenges, or that perimenopausal roller coaster many of us know all too well. Your immune function dips. You might find that you pick up every cold that goes around the office. You heal slower from injuries, and you may even see flare-ups in autoimmune conditions or autoimmune-like symptoms. Oh, and don't we know this? Brain fog and fatigue. These set in because your body is prioritizing survival over thinking, over thriving. So when we say, my thoughts are draining me, it's not just a figure of speech. It is literally biology. Your thought patterns literally train your brain into a state of fight or flight. And if that state never gets a break, the cost to your long-term health is huge. Essentially, you're in what's called a catabolic state, which is a breaking down state. Your body breaks down anything it finds to create energy for survival. Cortisol is a breaking down hormone. And if you never get that reprieve, that rest, you don't get the building back up hormones in full action. Now, here's what the truth of God's word, where the word meets science. The Bible has a lot to say about our thought life. 2 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 5 says, "We take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ." Philippians chapter 4 verse 8 says, "Whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, think about such things." And Romans chapter 12 verse 2 tells us, "Be transformed by the renewing of your mind." These aren't just nice words. They are life-giving strategies. God knew the power of our thought life long before researchers started mapping brain scans. Taking thoughts captive doesn't mean we ignore them or shame ourselves for having them. It means we recognize when our thoughts are spiraling and we redirect them, anchoring ourselves in truth, in peace, and in God's promises. Think of it like steering a car that starts to drift toward the ditch. If you just let it go, you'll end up stuck. But if you notice and you gently correct the steering, you can keep moving forward. That's what it looks like to take a thought captive. So, what does this look like in everyday life for busy professionals, moms, and leaders? Let's get practical. First of all, notice the trigger. Pay attention to when your body is reacting. Tight shoulders, racing thoughts, clenched jaw. That's your clue. I'm stuck in a stress thought loop. Second, pause and breathe. Literally take a slow breath in, hold for a few seconds, and breathe it out longer than you breathed it in. That's right, exhale longer than you inhale, which is counterproductive to what we were told growing up. This signals safety to your nervous system, and it starts lowering cortisol. Third, name the thought. Instead of just feeling it, say it out loud or write it down. For example, I'm worried that I will fail in tomorrow's meeting. Naming it helps you separate you from the thought. It reminds you, this is a thought I'm having, not the truth of who I am. Step 4, replace this thought with truth. This is where scripture becomes your anchor. Remember, God has not given me a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and sound mind. Or, God is with me even in this meeting. And finally, rehearse gratitude. Gratitude actually shifts your brain chemistry. Remember how we talked about blue zones? Well, in blue zone cultures, they naturally weave gratitude into their daily lives. We can do the same. Lord, thank you for giving me strength for today. Thank you for the opportunities that you've entrusted to me. Now, create small habits of renewal. It doesn't have to be a full hour of Bible study every morning. It could be a 2-minute prayer before walking into a meeting, or listening to worship music in the car, or just taking a quiet walk at lunch. These small reset habits build resilience. If we don't take our thoughts captive, the cost is extremely high. Not just spiritually, but physically and emotionally. Chronic stress can lead to burnout, hormone imbalances, gut dysfunction, depression, anxiety, you name it. You guys, I have lab results to show proof of this. Literally functional labs of my own that show it paints the story of what chronic stress does to the body in a physiological sense. I've had the hormone imbalances, the gut dysfunction, the depression, the anxiety, all of it. I've worked with women who were eating all the right things and exercising consistently, but they still weren't feeling better. Why? Because they were stuck in thought loops of worry, guilt, and what ifs that kept their stress response locked in the on position. But here's the good news. By practicing thought stewardship, we can break the cycle. Our bodies can recalibrate. God designed our bodies with resilience. Our minds can renew. Our spirits can find peace again. I'm going to go over those 6 practical steps to taking thoughts captive one more time. Number 1, notice the trigger. Number 2, pause and breathe. Number 3, name the thought. Number 4, replace it with truth. Number 5, rehearse gratitude. And number 6, create small habits of renewal. I'll be honest with you. I've been there, lying awake at night or waking in the morning, rehearsing conversations, worrying about outcomes that never even happened or may never happen. And I felt the toll on my health, on my mood, and on my leadership. But I've also experienced the freedom of learning to pause, to breathe, to pray, and to reframe my thoughts with God's truth. It doesn't mean I never struggle, but it means I don't have to stay stuck in the spiral. I've learned that peace doesn't come from controlling every circumstance. Peace comes from trusting the one who is in control and choosing what thoughts I let take up space in my mind. My friend, your thoughts are extremely powerful. They can drain you or they can sustain you. They can trigger stress or they can anchor peace. The good news is you get to choose which ones you dwell on. Let's commit together this week to notice when our thoughts are becoming energy vampires, to stop letting them boss our bodies around, and to invite God into the process of renewing our minds. Because peace, joy, and energy aren't just for someday. They are available to us today. Until next time, lead well, live well, and be well, sister friend. I pray this episode blessed you, spoke to you, or encouraged you in some way. If so, please share it with a friend and head on over to Apple Podcasts to leave me a review. That's the only way for me to know if you're enjoying the show. Nothing blesses me more than to hear from you. Also, come on over to our free Facebook community. This is a great place for us to support one another on our faith and leadership journeys. You can find the link to the group in the show notes or go to gracefilledleader.com/community. If you have questions or content ideas for the show, please send me a message on SpeakPipe or via email. Go to gracefilledleader.com/contact and leave a written or voice recorded message. I would love to know how I can best serve you on the podcast. Now to Him who can do immeasurably more than we can ask or imagine, according to His power that is at work within us. Ephesians 3, verse 20. Until next time, my friends, God bless.